All right, team. I'm Swami, and I'm here to introduce you to our new program, which is Practical DevOps Masters Program. Now, this particular program is, as you can see here, it's designed for 8 months of duration. And as a part of this program, as itself the name indicates, it's going to be mastering yourself in the DevOps domain. Now, it's not going to be just merely theoretical program, as we'll see in the further slides as well. It is going to be having lots of hands-on and industry-leading tools and practices that we'll be working on. We've got 230 plus hours of training totally. Again, as we know, many of you are working professionals, so it's weekend friendly there too. And also, it's aligned with many reputed and renowned certifications as well, which we'll see further. Having said, just to give you a quick overview of this program, this DevOps Master Program, it's built on three basic or the core principles as we call them. One is hands-on learning, without which, it's not of any use. Job-ready skills development. So we've identified the tools and services and the best practices which are in demand now. And certification alignment. So all the three things that you'll look out for, that's exactly is part of this environment as well, or this course as well. We believe that the best tree or the best way to master this course is to practical implementation, real world exposure, and industry leading tools and practices. So as a training approach, you can see practical first methodology is all going to follow. We have got live interactive training of 20 to 30 hours per month. Okay, it's weekend friendly there too, as I've told you before as well, to get in line with you all working professionals. And industry leading tools and services we're going to use, and certification alignment is again a key benefit of that. Having said the career, what are the benefits that you're going to get out of it, right? So one important, or one of the, I would say, among all, is career advancement. You'll be able to advance yourself in the career of, or rather into the role of DevOps. And that too with big or a lot of confidence, as we call it, because of the practical exposure you will have. You'll have industry recognition because it's aligned with 6 global recognized certifications, which will even validate your knowledge on the same. Practical skills is what you're going to acquire, not just the theoretical stuff. So again, a value add that we have got here, and comprehensive knowledge is going to acquire as a part of going for this course. Again, I've just enlisted some of the target audience as well that we are, focusing on, or rather they are in focus. Okay, so you can see here the list of those. Having said, just to give you a quick walkthrough of the detailed curriculum as we have it for this, is the foundation months. We are going in steps, right, to kind of acquire or get ourselves skilled in the world of DevOps. So again, the curriculum is designed in a similar way. So month 1 is more of setting up the foundations well, right? Wherein we are going to explore the Linux for DevOps. In fact, you see the Linux servers or the Linux operating system, or rather the distributions, and ultimately the kernel that's sitting behind, right? It's all being very much popular and preferred in the world of DevOps. And that's what you'll be looking at up front, where you'll get to see the Linux fundamentals and understand the relevant Linux part of it as well. The next thing, in fact, which is generally considered to be the very first thing when you go for the DevOps environment, is to have your SCM or VCS set up. Right, so this is where we'll be looking at networking and Git. So to be able to set up the versioning on top of your environment. So Git, GitHub, branching, merge, how you can version your source code, how you can manage it for its scale or for its security, access control, all of that, you'll be getting to look at that. So first month is planned accordingly. And as a part of the project, you'll be setting the things up yourself as well. Now from month 2 onwards, again, we'll get one step further. So you see containers and cloud basics is something that we are focusing on. So Docker, as you know, nowadays it's very much something that's expected from everyone. So Docker mastery is what we'll be acquiring rather in this module or in this particular month, where we'll be looking at containers, how they are being dealt with, what is Docker, how we can, go about the registries and image management, how we can create our own image, right? So all that container oriented or Docker oriented learning we'll be having in here. Then we'll be having a quick walkthrough with CI/CD introduction to understand what is CI/CD in the first place, how we can use tools like Jenkins in order to put the things together. Okay, as you'll go with the course, you will get to know this quite well. Having said, the month 3 is rather in line with month 2, where it will be an extension of what containers you have discussed before. Right, so here we'll be discussing about the Kubernetes. I'm sure all you must have heard this term before, may or may not have used it, but for sure, I'm 100% sure you must have heard this word before. And that's exactly what you'll be looking at here in detail, is what is Kubernetes, why it is required in the first place, and what are some of the fundamental or the core concepts behind it that makes it so popular and so preferred. We'll also go through what is the storage and the management aspect of it, what is the package manager for it. Helm is, very much popular, right? So going to all these concepts will will give you an entire idea about how, Kubernetes is dealt with and what is the benefit of using Kubernetes in the container world. So again, you'll have a caption project where you yourself will be deploying a complete multi-tier application, okay, where Kubernetes will be used to set that up. Having said, month number 4 is where it will be more of code. In DevOps, we call that you should have automation wherever, whenever possible, right? So that's exactly where we'll see the automation from the infrastructure point of view, from the configuration point of view. And that's where 2 very popular tools in the world, in fact, you might have heard the terms or the word Terraform, right? Terraform is infrastructure as a code, which is used to create your infrastructures in automation rather with code. We use HCL language for that. I'm sure you must have heard at least about that, but that is what we'll be exploring here in detail, is how you can create your infrastructure that is required for your final deployment, right? With Terraform. After going to Terraform, after the infrastructure is all set up, it's time to set the things well, right? It's time to configure the things around. So these installations, these configurations, this overall setup is what Ansible is going to help you with. Right? So Ansible is a configuration management tool, as we call it, which is very popular in the open source world, and rather on cloud as well, we can use it. We use it for configuration management to keep our resources in check, right? And that's exactly what we'll be doing there. Having said, month 5 as we'll go for that, it will be quite advanced. Now that you have gotten familiar with the foundational and intermediate knowledge, now you will go for even further, where you'll get to see the cloud specifics as well. So it's elective in that sense. But again, we have 2 tracks there. You can have AWS track, you can have Azure track there. Depending on the certification path you may want to proceed with, you can look out for the one. Okay, they both provide comprehensive preparation, right? Again, everyone is moving on cloud, right? AWS being very prominent one, very dominant one. So is Azure, coping up with that, catching up with that rather, right? So you'll get to see the DevOps specifics around that, around the cloud that you'll be going with. On top of it, month number 6 will be where you'll be finally getting to see the insights or monitoring aspect of it, because that is generally considered to be the very last stage in the DevOps pipeline as well, is to monitor the environment, make sure that things are all going well. So that's exactly what you'll be looking at here, where you'll get to see the monitoring and observability. Okay, what tools and what services are preferably used for that. What DevSecOps is, in fact, very much in discussion nowadays, right? To validate the things that you're going with. So DevSecOps is something that you'll get to see. And month 6 will again have its own project to go with, where you'll implement your custom dashboards, alerts, security scanning, integration, all of that stuff. Month 7 is where we're going to have advanced DevOps practices, where you'll see advanced CI/CD strategies. So as you have seen CI/CD before, from a fundamental or rather at a surface level, this is where you'll get to see a bit more in detail, right? So again, when you go for CI/CD pipelines in AWS, rather than any cloud or rather on-premises as well for that matter, we choose the way we want to go about it, right? We choose what kind of deployment strategy I would like to go with it. Is it blue green? Is it canary or what else? Okay, that GitOps is very much popular nowadays. So you'll also get to know those advanced concepts there too. Finally, cloud optimization is how we can optimize this DevOps environment on cloud and how we can make it, better or efficient than the open source world, right? How we can set up the multi-cloud or hybrid environments as needed. And again, you'll have, as before, you'll also have a capstone project where you yourself will be building end-to-end pipelines for production. Months 8 and 9 are where you'll have capstone project. 1.5 months we have given for that, where you'll get production grade application deployment, right? So the overall theme of this timeline will be to deploy the comprehensive e-commerce or banking like application to go with, okay, where you'll have cloud infrastructure, you'll have automated pipelines to go with, right? Microservices architecture, which is very much in discussion nowadays. Monitoring dashboards, because again, ultimately you want to get insights as much as you can, and documentation and presentation at the end of the day to, make sure that the things are all kept checked and versioned. Right, so that is something that we'll be focusing on in those months. Okay, month 8 and or rather the last part of this course or the training as we discussed a while back. So having said, as I've already told you, that this learning will as well be in line with the industry certifications and skill development. So some of the ones that, these are only some of them, but some of the prominent ones you can see here would be like AZ4 not or AZ400, CKA, Docker certified associate, right? HashiCorp, Terraform associate, right? So again, from HCL itself, RSCSA, okay, for the Red Hat administrator. We have certified Jenkins engineer as well, which will kind of validate your understanding of Jenkins. Okay, and again, that as you saw, we have it in the course already. Right. So again, these are only some of the very certifications for which you will be going with. Having said, ultimately at the end of the day, along with all the services and the tools and the best practices as we discussed, these are some of the many skills that we'll be acquiring. Core skills we have just put down. Okay, maybe from the Linux point of view, containers, IAC, CI/CD, right? Cloud, right? Monitoring, security, version control. So all the services we have already seen around that, right? A while back. Configuration management we saw from the Ansible point of view. Microservices, again, containers are good ambassadors of that. Database administration, performance, disaster recovery, planning for that. Cost optimization, right? Team collaboration. So ultimately, these are the overall skills that we are, focusing on. Tools and technologies mastered, I've told you already that a while back. Okay, so operating systems and ISCs, containers, CI/CD automations, monitoring, security, databases and storages. Okay, they're only some of the very technologies and tools you'll be getting exposed, or rather, you'll be exploring that with. The program details, you can see the price has been put there. Maximum students is 35, you can see. Month duration is 8, around that, right? The next batch details are as well put here, which will help you in going about, planning for this batch 2. And batch special features as guarantee quality as well, full refund if capacity is exceeded, and priority support for your enhanced mentoring. Again, a flexible payment plan as well has been put forth for, going about your payments flexibly. And you can see the details that have been put here on the credit card basis, or again, for the other NBFC partners as well. Okay, you can check out for that too, right? What's included? So as a part of the cost, as we discussed, right? Already with the discount and everything, still you can see here that it will be including all these important aspects. So live training sessions, we have certification materials as will be required for those certifications, hands-on lab access, capstone project as we saw before, career support as well, right? And total program value according that comes out to be. And again, with the discounts you saw what price it comes out to be. But digital resources, community access, 2 years of access, you will have it in total. And ultimately, you see these are the program resources that you'll be supported with as well. Okay, so comprehensive support will be there, maybe from your learning point of view, your payments, your consultation, right? All of the preparation point of view, okay, will be all there as a part of this, right? So limited seats are available, and grab them as quickly as possible to not missing out on this opportunity of upskilling yourself on this fantastic word of DevOps. Right. So, Yashim, that's it. Thank you, everyone.